Hello everyone, welcome back to TH Designs. Today we are with the final video of the first season, the first installments of the Wheel of Wonders as we know it. We are doing a walking tour and a whole bunch of other fun things, but first and foremost I must introduce to you my co-host for today's video, Kylie.
Hi!
Kylie's joined because she's kind of been here since the very beginning and has a lot of kind of outsider's point of view. If I did the tour by myself, I would be too...
Biased?
Yeah, biased, I guess. So today's video is going to be very raw. It's really just for the sickos that have been here for the series. So don't expect too much editing. It's really just a raw tour where we're going to do a lot of walkthrough of the entire park, kind of going over every single area of the park, more or less, kind of trimming it a little bit so that there's not too much dead air. But along with talking about each ride, we're also going to talk about which ones are our favorites, not only aesthetically, but also which ones are our favorite layouts. And then, conversely, which ones are the worst in our opinions. And that discussion also opens up to you guys as well. I can't wait to see in the comments which ones you guys like the most and which ones you didn't like the most. Which I think, for the most part, everyone could probably agree Abyss is going to catch a lot of strays. On top of that, we're also going to talk about all the stats that I've gathered for this series. Things like the most elements used, which elements were used the most, which ones were used the least, which of these coasters is the most dangerous in terms of G-forces, which of these is the tallest, which of these is the fastest, which comment got the most likes, which one was my personal favorite, and then at the very end, the one that you guys are probably looking the most forward to, we are going to talk about the future of the series, specifically the goals of Season 2. To start off, we're just literally going to walk around the park, which, by the way, I have open. I guess we can actually talk about. You can see it's open there. There are only 174 guests in the entire park because the park actually has terrible stats. Because like there's no flat rides, the rides only just open, so it has like no timeline of like success or the guests being happy, which I guess are important for those things. I don't know, I do no park management in this game. So there's 170 people scattered around this park somewhere, and it's up to us to find them, I guess. Maybe we'll be walking around and finding them as we go.
174 people sounds like a lot.
Oh, there's one of them. Blackthorn Bush. Oh my gosh, I clicked on the bush. I was like, whose name is Black? Dante Collins. Okay, that's more human.
Hi, Dante.
That's more human. Anyway, as I've been trying to get to, let's start first person and literally start at the beginning with the entrance. You see Maroy up there, actually. Forgive the lag, by the way. I mean, there's literally hundreds of thousands of pieces, if not millions of pieces in this entire park. But let's just get into it. Relatively modest entrance. I didn't think at the start of this that this was going to be any kind of series whatsoever. I thought it was going to kind of be a one-off. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. But it has been very successful. I mean, even the first episode, which we were seeing here with Deadeye, did very well. Which I think I have all the rides testing, so we should be able to see them go as we go around the park. But yeah, this was kind of a rough one, to be honest. Like, relative to the other videos and the other coasters that were added to the series, the quality of the first one, I don't know, what do you think?
Your quality definitely got better as the series went on, but I also just think this one's always going to be iconic because it's what started the series to begin with, and it's what got
people. Sorry, even they dissed Deadeye. They were like, "Nah, yeah, I don't want to go on that."
But I mean, it's always going to be iconic because it was the first video of this series, and it's what got all the people to love and support you in this content. And
you know what? I think part of it is that, but I think the truth is people are just, they like pain and suffering, and they saw that hairpin turn.
My favorite element.
Which you can kind of see a little bit in the back there. Nah, the hairpin turn is what drove them to watch this.
No, honestly, I think that's my favorite element on this ride, genuinely. Just because, one, the theming was really cool, but then also, like you said, it was a very out-of-place element that you handled really, really well. And
I'm flattered.
And I just think it was really cool. And of course you added a train in there. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't I? So moving on from Deadeye, we then had episode 2, which you can actually see the train going now, I think. I only just now made them test. They were originally just open before. We're not going to do the POVs because the POVs and the cinematics will be a separate video, which you can find on the channel. I imagine I would have uploaded that by now. So if you want to see all the POVs of these coasters kind of collected together, go ahead and look for that video. As we walk past a uprooted tree. You can tell I spend a lot of time paying attention to details. Creative Clash, which I always forget is like the actual name of the attraction.
Yeah, because isn't it like Scribble and Draft? Yeah.
I just call it Scribble and Draft. But yeah, this was this kind of similar to the Deadeye over there with the hairpin turn. I think really is what maybe, yeah, as with, you know, the elephant in the room, is really what made people kind of stick around with the series was when they saw this, and they were like, "What is that? Like that can't exist." And
at the end of the ride too,
and then it does exist. I think it only could exist at the end of the ride because of the break section there.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it was perfectly placed if it were to have had to happen, which obviously it did. And I think it was the weirdest element, but it happened in the most perfect spot that it could have happened.
Yeah, and like they get like a perfect like face down view of the people watching. Yeah, it's very interesting. Also, it was a dueling coaster, and it was very cool. And kind of an under-celebrated part of this coaster is that it has a like a finish line to it and a whole viewing section, which I'm realizing how slow the walking is in this game.
I also remember that. Didn't you have to post a separate video because everyone wanted to see the POV of it spinning?
Yes, I did. Yeah, so and then everybody was like, actually, maybe not, because then they saw the POV and it was just nauseating.
Yeah, it was very hard to watch, but
yeah, this might be in contention for one of my favorites when we start to wrap the tour up, when we're ranking our favorites. This one's up there. I really like the colors of it. The Planet Coaster theme itself is very cool, and yeah, just the intertwining of elements, especially the sea serpents over there, which you actually just saw it go through, is so pretty. And then to one of my favorites to one of my least favorites, and I assume most people's least favorite just because of what had happened with this episode, is episode 3, and that's Abyss. This had a cool pirate theme, which of course we did justice with the log flume coaster, which you can just see the monstrosity over there in the skyline. But this one of course had to be less than 2,000 feet, which by the way, if you didn't see that episode, I didn't even do the challenge. I had 2,004 feet. So not only is this coaster like super underwhelming, and then I lost all the footage, so it was like the lost episode. I didn't even do the challenge right. So whatever, but I actually like the theming for like what it is, little coastal town. I like the other pirate one better. This one only has like 3 elements as well. The Kraken going over the rollover camelback, which actually I think we're about to see in the distance. There, hopefully. No, why would we? My bad. Why that didn't? Okay, you know what? That just sums up this ride. Let's move on. Why did that not go off? So from episode 3, we're moving on to episode 4, which is probably in tandem, not yet the Rush Hour, the Walmart coaster, not just yet, is probably one of the most iconic ones in the park. Oh, another uprooted tree.
You're so good at this
Look
game.
at me with all of my detail.
So proud of you.
I spent so much time making sure that all the ends are seamless. Oh, hi, God. Person. So this is Colossus, which was episode 4, which was just super lucky because I felt so guilty for Abyss and how much that ride sucked, truthfully. Getting something like this with the 150 meter by 150 meter grid and just doing one of the most unique coasters I've ever seen on Planet Coaster, truthfully. This is probably the coaster I'm the most proud of, I think, that I've ever built.
It's like the best version of a bowl of spaghetti that you could imagine.
Yeah, I called the original Deadeye in episode 1 the spaghetti coaster, but this is the spaghetti tower.
Yeah.
This thing, I think, is... You'll see in the stats later just how much this dominates with duration, how long this coaster is, despite it being on the smallest footprint of any coaster in the park. Yeah, one of my favorite POVs. All the custom supports were just so cool. I really love this coaster, and obviously how tall it is, with Neptune at the top, or Poseidon, whoever it is, kind of dominating the skyline. Really cool. I also love the cinematic. I also love how Moroi kind of interjects in front of it with the almost like a flying snake dive. Which brings us, after Colossus, which is one of my favorites, also going to be in contention against Creative Clash over there for one of my favorites, is another one that's probably amongst the favorites of many of the viewers, I imagine, and that is Moroi, which is probably the most dominant coaster on the entire skyline, I would say. Making our way over here, you get a glimpse at the Mount Everest, the Wheel of Wonders equivalent of Mount Everest. This coaster obviously was trying to break a record. That was the challenge that it got, and it definitely does. I think it's like 157 miles per hour or so. And what comes with that is a huge mountain, which I think is a step-up underflip, and it just looks so awesome. And with the huge elements and the dog tongue, especially with all the custom sports there, which you actually see it go by now, it just looks so sweet. The station itself I also love, because this was right when the Sorcery Pack had just come out, and I got to play around with it a lot, and I really love how that looks. And just like the scale of everything. Like the fact that the top hat is the last element going into the break run is just like perfect to me. It just sums up what is one of the craziest rides. This was also before, the last thing I'll say before we move on, because I'm trying to kind of speed this up, is this was before snow was added to the game. So those are rocks. And that was actually kind of a little bit of a creative way to get around the idea, because actually, which I can't believe you didn't bring this up, this was your theme.
It was?
In that episode, yeah, you proposed the winter wonder, or the winter snow theme.
Oh!
Either this episode or the episode before, and it landed on it. And this is technically your doing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I forgot about that too.
So long ago at this point, I totally forgot.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, that was actually proposed by Kylie. But I don't think I said it in the episode because nobody knew who you were at that point.
Yeah, probably.
As we passed the Toyland coaster, which I think was episode 9 or 8 or something like that, we're not quite there yet. We are heading over to Komodo, which Kylie did it a disservice by forgetting the name of it.
I'm sorry. I told you not to put me on blast like that.
Fair enough, my bad. Komodo is actually a super underrated build. This was the coaster that was built backwards, and this was episode 6. I actually really like this coaster with the jungle theme, but like the custom supports here with the Giovanola kind of style on the negative G stall loop looks so cool. And then when the train goes by and the fire goes off on the kind of Aztec temple. So yeah, this is the station, all the area, and you can kind of see like the kind of inspiration of some kind of Asian temples or so, and really cute little area. I really like this a lot. The cinematic was also really fun to do, which of course you can see the POV in the cinematics. Look at it go over the Batwing on this channel. So go ahead and look for that if you were interested. Let's jump over to the one that followed it, which if I'm not mistaken is probably the #1 fan favorite. It's the most viewed one, I know that, and it is Rush Hour, which is the corporate hell coaster. So let's make our way over to that. Observation deck. There's no observation. Oh wait, there is an observation deck. I forgot that I made this an observation deck. You can actually walk up there. Okay, I'm walking up there real quick. We're gonna edit this out. I have to see what it looks like at the end. I forgot that I did the observation deck up here on Colossus. Sorry, we got a little sidetracked.
Look at
the
the
game is
supports
saving. There we go.
Not touching the ground. Are they? It's close.
It's close. Is that code? Is that code?
It's close.
We'll say it is. I love this observation deck. You can just see the coaster like whiz by and I'm falling.
No.
Oh, what?
Way to stick the landing. Good job.
What? I didn't know that could happen in this game. What?
Was there not a railing?
There was a railing.
Bad design.
Yeah, anyway, cut that out. You can tell I pay attention to details. Apparently I couldn't afford placing railings up there. Anyway, that was a shortcut to get to where I actually wanted to go, which is the corporate coaster, which you can actually see one of the office buildings there. And you can see the back of the Walmart as well. Kind of a little detail with the docks and the trucks.
So you focus on the details there, but not on the trees.
Oh yeah, when it comes to Walmart and corporate hell, I give all the details. But when it comes to being able to afford public safety, that's where we cut the funding. Make our way through the path that was, or the parking lot that was turned into a path. I also really like the area around this as well. And then obviously the Walmart itself is just such a cool way to make a station. What sucks though is that the path, you can't really like actually get in there so much. Most of it's really like kind of deserted and away from the main path, but you can actually see the coaster kind of whizzing by. This one is definitely going to contend for the best layout. Naturally, it's an intimate blitz, so it was always going to be great, but this guy not only had maybe the most fun theme to do in the entire series, the corporate hell, I mean, just kind of doing all the highways and all these huge sponsored billboards was just so fun, but the layout itself is actually super awesome. It's a multi-launch. It even actually has a hairpin turn, which was in that office tower, which you can see a little bit of a glimpse of there.
It was a good episode. I was actually really surprised with how much love that it got with all the corporate stuff. But yeah, no, it was really cool. The theming was really cool. The different companies that you used were really cool.
We're not sponsored.
Unfortunately.
Come on, McDonald's and Walmart. Look at
Look
that.
at that.
Look at that M. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a hike to go to episode 8, I believe, which we actually passed not too long ago. That's the Toyland coaster, which was in honor of the new DLC at that point, similar to Moroi, where the Sorcery Pack had just come out. The Toyland, or the Toy Pack, Toy Box I think is the official name, had just come out, and we did this episode in honor of it as we kind of slowly trek over there.
This was the one that I was most excited for because, again, just like being able to collaborate with Tove, I knew that coming up with different ideas for like different children's toys and games was going to be so much fun. But
look at the shade that. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just keep seeing things. Look at the shade that we're casted in because of this monster tower. Sorry, go ahead.
Two things about this coaster. First of all, the crocodile dentist that we all know and love.
Shout out. That's worth leaving the first person for. We gotta see this. This is all Kylie.
Guess whose idea that was? Another little fun fact, if you go to the front, like the entrance where like all the toys are stacked up.
Oh, I was actually gonna bring this up. I'm glad you're bringing this up.
Zoom in a little bit.
Yeah,
you
it's
see
right
that?
here.
See that red Lego right there? Guess who built that?
Yeah, that was the first thing you've ever built in Planet Coaster.
The first thing I ever made was a skinny red Lego, and it made it to the front of the ride. So
yeah. Oh, look at the little confetti. I didn't even know I did that.
Oh.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites with the Bounty House station.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It's so underrated. I was so proud of myself for coming up with this. Got to see it from the other angle. Get out of the shadow that's casted. Like, it literally blocks the whole sun. We're in an eclipse right now because of Colossus. Crazy. Teefers. You know what? This might have been the most fun to build, actually, instead of the corporate coaster, if I'm not going to lie. I mean, like, look at the exit is a bouncy house, like, ramp. I mean, that's just so fun. The Lincoln Logs and the Legos and the kaleidoscope and obviously the crocodile dentist. Being able to do all those things. They were all custom pieces as well. They weren't things that obviously came with the toy box pack, but the toy box pack kind of laid the groundwork for those kinds of things, like the ball pit as well. It was just so much fun to do. I felt like I could do anything and kind of get away with it with this park. I mean, there's floating planets. That's what those popsicle sticks are, and nobody questioned it. That's what made this so much fun to do.
It was also so nostalgic because it's like we're literally remaking toys that we played with as kids, and like I'm sure a lot of our viewers are our viewers. Yep, you guys are my viewers now.
Basically,
a lot of your viewers probably also played with a lot of these toys as kids, or maybe still do. I don't know. It's really cute, and I just feel
the Jenga
like
tower as well.
It's just so family friendly, and I feel like everyone could find a piece of this ride that they can enjoy in one way or another. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say this now, but this is easily my favorite coaster.
Oh, okay, spoiler. Heading over to the next one, we have episode 9, which conveniently, finally, is right next to the other one. You can actually see the coaster. Sorry. See the coaster go through the crocodile dances now, which looks so cool. Oh, look at this timing. So as we're going to rhyme, you can actually see the saxophone that made this episode so unique. I think that this one is super cool. Like, the whole area of, like, Frostheim. Obviously, the saxophone itself, which is very different than the ones that we saw on the dueling coasters. This coaster also had the challenge of having entirely unique elements. Like, the double inverting stall was debuted, the kickflip there, also the wraparound corkscrew, the demonic knot as well, and I think a few others I just can't think of. The death roll, I think, is somewhere around here. This is a lot like, this was inspired a lot by Hiccup's wing gliders at Universal, which was just so much fun to do. And obviously the Viking theming in Planet Coaster is really in depth, and there's a lot to do with it. And being able to kind of have these really intimate moments with the track and all the Viking buildings. You can actually see the train go down, and all the water, and there's all these Viking ships kind of scattered around. This is a really cool one, and all the netting that's happening underneath the moments where the train's going over, kind of keeping a little bit of realism. I really like this ride, actually.
I think the theming for this ride was really, really well done.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite executions. Like, looking back at this one was really well done. I probably wasn't happy with it when I finished it. I'm not happy usually with any of my builds. But looking retrospectively, I think there's a lot to be really happy with. This is a really, really neat build. And I can't think of what episode 10 is. I'm assuming it's Tori, because Tori is literally right next door. Which is, I keep saying this, I don't know, I guess I like these coasters a lot more than I thought I did. This is one of my favorites. I mean, definitely in terms of aesthetics, this is such a cool one. Oh, as the game lags. But like, looking at all the flat rides, this was the beginning of flat rides being introduced. And the tower itself with the kind of Neo-Tokyo like style signing. And also, this is another one we can't really get into, unfortunately, from the pathwork, but we can go to the cherry blossom part. But the theming in the Zen Garden is so lovely. I was so proud of that, especially with the splashdown. And just Asian architecture, Japanese architecture specifically, is just so lovely in my opinion. And then the coaster itself and its stats are like super elite. Yeah, the little villas that are kind of scattered around in the temples. More so villas than temples are just so nice. I'm so proud of this. And like as we walk through like the cherry blossom garden, it just is so sweet. It could only exist in a Japanese themed coaster. Which actually, now that I think about it, if we look over here, you can actually see where the splashdown is, and you also get a glimpse of the Zen Garden. So this is kind of what the Zen Garden looks like with the coaster. Pretty sweet. Definitely one of my favorites. So then that brings us to episode 11, which was one of my favorites, shocker. One of the most ambitious ones as we go through the Torii Gate. Episode 11 was the 10,000 subscribers special coaster, which is, I believe, I named it the Circuit of Wonders, which as we come through here, you get a glimpse at like the Peach's Garden and the Mario stuff everywhere with the castle in the back. I mean, this is just such a fun one as well. This took so long. I think this was the longest build of any of them. There were 5 themes in this coaster. It was just extremely ambitious, like I said, but it was just so fun, and I think it was executed nicely. And the cinematic, it was really awesome in my opinion. I really enjoyed that. You like the Peach's Garden? I know you're a big Mario Kart person.
Yeah, no, I really liked... First of all, I liked how there were different themes within the ride, but then also just as like, I guess, a little bit of behind the scenes, because you were saying that this was probably the coaster that took you the longest to build. I remember like how many times I would come home from work and you'd be like, hey, like, can I get your opinion on this? And after I think like a week, I was like, you're still working on this one? And I like didn't realize, first of all, I didn't realize that it was all one coaster. And I think it took a couple days for me to realize it was all one coaster, but then also just like realizing how big it really was. And then like I eventually realized like, oh, this is why it's taking so long, because it is literally like 5 different coasters and 5 different themes, like 10,000 feet, you know? Like, yeah,
just for the statistics to not even say it's 10,000 feet, so it's only a guess that it's 10,000 feet. Nobody actually technically knows.
Whoops.
And then there was also the Rainbow Road section underneath the entrance, which I've actually never really looked at it from this angle. I forgot I did that.
I love that part. And I also love the little cars. What is that?
That's for the glitter that you're seeing down there. Because as we know, I pay attention to detail. They're scattered everywhere.
Someone's gonna stub their freaking toe.
Don't look at this, guys. I'm terrible. You guys are seeing... I'm pulling back the curtain. You guys are seeing all the shortcuts that I take. Anyway, the second theme of this coaster was the horror theme, with all the spiders around it, which I'm sure a lot of people love this. Definitely no arachnophobes here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like it? Are you an arachnophobe?
Yeah. Don't like spiders.
Yeah. I don't mind them, but they give me the little...
heebie-jeebies.
Heebie-jeebies is a good word.
But I loved this horror theme.
Yeah, like the big like cathedral is pretty sweet. That came out pretty nice.
Super well done. As
much
much as I hate spiders, these ones are cute though. Like, look at his teethers.
That's cute? I'm not gonna lie, that's not cute. That's terrifying.
Look at his teethers, and he's got cute little like googly eyeballs.
That's not his teethers. That's like his
fangs.
No. His fangs are underneath it.
Oh. Well, then, maybe never mind.
Come on, Kylie, get up to speed with your spider anatomy.
My fault. Get up to speed with your tree roots.
Okay, good one. Watch, I'm super wrong about that, and it is their fangs. Anyway, let's go back. Oh, uh-oh.
Womp womp.
That's not good. The train is stalled, and there's only 2 of them. It must have derailed on the spike. Oh, no. Anyway.
The safety of our guests, ladies and gentlemen.
No expense spared. I think the Mario Kart, in my opinion, is by far my favorite of all of the 5. Like, they all look pretty good together. But this one being like the hub of the coaster, it's just so sweet. So that was episode 11, and then after that, we kind of had to leave the first-person point of view because it's so far away. This is episode 12, which was Buccaneer, which was the pirate-themed coaster, the Justice, the kind of predecessor, or the successor, excuse me, of Abyss. I really enjoy this section. I don't know. I'm trying not to toot my own horn, but like I am the one that built this, so I don't really know whose horn to toot. But I like the splashdown with like the death roll, which actually now with the cannons going off and everything, it's really neat. And then obviously just the monstrosity that is a 300-foot log flume with custom sports and then custom catwalks as well. It's just crazy. This is one of the craziest coasters in the entire park.
This was definitely the craziest pull in terms of like what kind of ride it was, plus the elements that this ride had to do. I don't know. I really liked this one. I thought it was super, super fun. Was the splashdown like part of the wheel, or did you do that?
I think the death roll was the last spin of the wheel, and I think I kind of took it upon myself that, like, we had a log flume. We could not have a splashdown, so I'm pretty sure that was me. I don't think that was luck. We didn't even really mention that the actual, before the lift, there's a really cool kind of pre-lift dark ride section, which was the first of its kind in the park. Of course, later we went on with the candy coaster to do something similar, which we are getting to very soon, actually. Another one that is really far and on the other side of the park is another one that got a lot of love, which I was kind of surprised by. Not that this is a bad coaster, like, at all. I really enjoyed the theming, and the cinematic on this is so much fun to do. Probably, I've been saying this a lot with, like, every coaster I like, but this cinematic, I think, genuinely might have been the most fun to do.
This was my favorite cinematic that you did. I think it was just because you had it in the rain and it really fit the abandoned theme, and it was just something like a little different compared to your more like fun, upbeat POVs.
I agree.
And also just adding the elements as you're showing now from the other coasters, and just like different parts of other coasters that weren't used, because this is kind of just like a part of the park that is used for like excess parts that aren't currently being used. I don't know, like the abandoned theme was just so well done, and the POV, or not the POV, the cinematic that you did was easily my favorite one that you've done. Just because of how different it was and how much it stood out compared to all the other ones that you did.
It just gave a lot of really cool lore to the park, because of course the idea was that this was the first coaster in the entire park. Apparently I can't cross this bridge, so let me just magically fly over.
Oh, the other thing too, which I think you're walking towards there now, the splashdown, but then taking the water out of the splashdown because it's abandoned. That was so creative.
You can't even really see it from the path, unfortunately, but like there it is. That's probably one of my favorite features in the entire park, because when we were doing the wheel, of course it gave us a splashdown in the middle of the layout, which is such a screwball. Like, how are you supposed to work with that? And the fact that we got the abandoned theme, and it just kind of popped in my head that like, it would be drained. It wouldn't actually be a splashdown, because also I was worried about redundancy, because we had the splashdown on Tory, which is literally right next door, and then we also have a splashdown on the log flume coaster that we just talked about. So the idea that this would be drained also made it very different from the other one. So I was very appreciative that the theme wheel was so kind. Yeah, definitely a very cool area. I love the idea that this was like the original entrance to the park. Yeah, I like this area a lot. I think it gave some really cool lore. Some people in the comments had the idea that this area should be like refurbished and like made as if it was before the rest of the park existed, to almost do like a cinematic, like a before the ride was abandoned. And I really like that idea. I just haven't really gotten around to it just because I'm busy, but I love that idea and the spirit of that. Which brings us to episode 14, which, as we're literally bouncing from edge to corner of the park, we go to one that I got sick during, which just made the process so long. I think this took 2 weeks to build just because I was sick. But this is the Candy Dash coaster, which of course had the Candyland theme. Don't mind all this very unfinished, as we know. We're entering in the little gingerbread side, where you can see some of the custom flat rides and everything with little cookies and the peppermints. With the big like wafer castle with the King coaster. Yeah, very cute ride. I really like this one a lot. I love like the kind of juxtaposition between both sides, and like this very mechanical chocolate factory where like theoretically all these people would work. And this side, which is way more down the line of like the typical Candyland, especially like the board game, with the icing, not snow, it's icing, like landscape with all the candy and the floating candles. So
good job.
I don't know why that's floating. All right, let's just, yeah. So as we slowly kind of trek over here, because we are setting ourselves up to see the most recent episode, which if you remember is actually right next door over here, we are looking at the second half of the candy coaster, which was the big factory. Which actually, this won an award in the stats part, which we are going to get to, I promise. This is taking way longer than I thought it would. But one of the awards that this coaster won, it might be a surprise to you. It does have to do with this factory, especially. The kind of level of detail that went into it, the scale of it, to say anything. I mean, this thing is huge. I really like this. I didn't really appreciate it while I was building it, because I was sick.
Yeah.
But I think in hindsight, this was actually really well done. And maybe if I didn't take 2 weeks to do it, I might not have thought of the factory idea, because originally it was supposed to just be the Candyland. Which, as we look over in this direction, which I'm sure Kylie was waiting for, we get a little Easter egg of Kylie being Augustus Gloop, being stuck in the UFO thing. I don't know what this is in the movie, either the original or the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory one, which the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was the one that I based the UFO thing on. But I don't know what it's supposed to do, but it sucks up the chocolate from the chocolate river. And Kylie got stuck in it with all the bubbles.
I like chocolate.
Yeah, I'm not going to go all the way through this, but it's a very cool build. Another one that has a lot of really cool interior work. If you have not seen the POV or the cinematic, of course those will be, as I've been saying, attached in a video, like almost a collection of sorts. So go ahead and check that out. As we head over this way, we are heading towards the infamous black box.
Yippee!
Which is maybe the biggest coaster in terms of scale, besides maybe Maroi, and it's ironically kind of squeezed into this little box, which I love so much. Also, the estimated wait time is 20 minutes for nobody being in line at all. But as we know, this coaster is entirely underground. This is the last coaster that we're going to take a look at, and we're not going to be able to take too much of a look at because it's all inside and it's all very, very dark. This is the last one we're going to do before we jump into the stats really quickly, and then also the little fun records. We could talk a little bit more about each coaster. And then the part that you guys, I'm sure, have been waiting for, which is Season 2 and kind of my initial thoughts and ideas, things like that. As we walk down the kind of subway style station, there's this hall of the episodes, which is such a cool thing, I think, to have all the thumbnails next to each other, the names of the coasters, and then each challenge underneath it, along with, of course, the corresponding episode number. And then episode 15 being the actual ride itself, as another freeze because the game's saving. And we're not going to be able to actually like take too much of a look at what's going on. I guess we can like float around and look a little bit more in detail, but it is very dark, so you're not going to be able to see too much. But from going episode to episode, from the Western theme all the way to the Scribble and Draft, and then flying into the Abyss with the Kraken kind of flying around, with all these time sequencers. I'm not going to go through every single one because we did that in the video, of course. And we are trying to wrap this up a little bit, but this coaster is huge. I mean, you get a hologram of the entire layout. It's massive. It takes up almost a quarter of the entire map's layout. It's huge. It's fun. It has every single episode sequentially kind of theming each bubble, is what I kind of called it, after each episode. And it's kind of the perfect kind of ending to the series, in my opinion. The perfect episode 15. So before we jump into the little stats sheet that I made where we could talk about which elements were used the most, which ones were used the least, all these things that I kind of threw together, let's talk about quickly the rankings of the ride. Which one was your most favorite aesthetically? I guess let's start with that first. Which of these 15 is your favorite to look at?
Definitely the toy one.
It's not even close?
Not even close.
Really? I mean, it is just on such a small footprint too.
Exactly.
It's like so colorful.
It's so colorful. It is so compact with so much. Like there's like not 1 inch of space where there's not a toy or a game or something in there. Like there's something to look at everywhere. Also, this is me patting myself on the back a little bit. I just love that I came up with the crocodile dentist. I was really proud of that idea, especially because a lot of people in the comments also commented on that. So it was nice to see that that idea was very loved and appreciated. There's just a nostalgia factor to this coaster that I really love and appreciate. So this is easily my favorite coaster.
I think for me, I think I'm gonna go with, for my favorite aesthetically, it is hard. I think the one I'm the most proud of, besides just like workload wise, it would be this one here. It'd be the 10,000 subscribers, episode 12 or whatever that was. But in terms of just aesthetics and just, I don't know, the intimate scale of it, I think I'm gonna go Tori. I just feel like I really nailed the kind of essence of the Zen Garden that I was really looking to try and create when I got the theme. And I don't know, it's just so different. On to layouts real quick before we jump into the stats. I think we can both agree that Abyss is the worst, right? Fair?
Yeah, probably.
Just kind of naturally with the cards it was given, with only being able to really have 3 elements.
Yeah.
I think 4 elements technically is the final.
Which I guess if that's the footage that you're gonna lose,
yeah,
get 1-2 lose.
Definitely didn't lose much by losing that footage. Which one is your favorite in terms of layout? Like, which one do you think packs the most punch?
The log flume.
What? The most lethal one?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like crazy. Like everything's huge.
It is crazy.
I don't know. I really like, if this were an actual ride, obviously not as a log flume, I just feel like it would be super, super fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is a sweet layout. I think if it genuinely was anything but a log flume, it would be an awesome layout.
Yeah.
But I think this could never exist.
No.
But I guess most of these couldn't exist.
Yeah.
I think, for me, I think the one I would enjoy the most would probably be Moroi.
Yeah, that would have been my second one.
I love launch coasters,
Mm-hmm.
and just especially this dive down the mountain
Mm-hmm.
is just so cool. But I don't think I'm going to pick it. Rime is really underrated, in my opinion, and that is extremely tempting to pick. But I think I'm going to go with Colossus. I just want to give Colossus some love.
That's fair.
This one, to me, feels like my baby. Especially because it's in the middle of the entire park. And it was coming off of a really wimpy episode. And I don't know, it's just so unique. And it feels like it could theoretically exist. I don't know. I think this one, just for me, just kind of sits in a really warm spot. I just really love it.
It's a fair pick.
Yeah. It's like, what is this? What are you looking at? I feel like it embodies the spirit of the series the most. Along with yours, I think. I think this one and Buccaneer are the two that I think represent what the wheel is all about the most. So anyway, with all of that done, finally, I don't know how long that's going to be after trimming and editing, but let's jump over to the Google Sheets that I've kind of gathered with all of the stats of all of the coasters, genuinely every single stat of every coaster, and kind of seeing what the averages were, what fun kind of trends we can see, and of course the records themselves. And then we will finally summarize this video, close this video off with some of the beginnings of ideas for Season 2. So here is my makeshift, very thrown together, I'll call it an Excel sheet, but it's Google Sheets. It has all the elements of every single episode sequentially, ranking how many there were, the challenge of each one, the model type, obviously sequentially by episode, and then every single major stat that I thought of. And all of this, along with elements, every single element, and then how often they happened, which is what we're seeing on the left here, led to really these three kind of sections of information, which I think are really interesting to quickly cover. Of all of the elements used, we have this histogram kind of thrown together that shows you every single element on the wheel and how many times they were used. And I don't think it's that surprising to anybody. At least to me, it wasn't that surprising. It just felt like this element was used every single episode. Number one for the most used element is S-bends. As disappointing as that is, it was used 5 times across 15 episodes.
Wow.
As a transitional element, it's really boring. So if we throw that out the window, we have a 6-way tie for elements that were used 4 times. That being the barrel roll, the cutback, which I'm surprised by the cutback, Sea Serpent, another one that felt like it was used all the time, the X up, the wave turn, and the rollover camelback. Those 6 were seen 4 times throughout the 15 episodes, and if you take away the transitional S-bends, those are your most seen, most beloved elements, at least according to the wheel, in the entire series. As for least used, there were only 2 elements, as you see in the red there, that were never used. Very disappointingly, by the way. Create an element and choose an element. Maybe somewhere along the line they got lost in the wheels, like maybe one didn't make... Maybe I was using a wheel that didn't have them in it and didn't realize. If we take those 2 away, which it's so disappointing because create an element is such a great idea, and it will be in Season 2. Besides those 2, I think there's 8 or 9 that were only used 1 time ever. The dive loop, the dive drop, the Finnish loop, the Norwegian loop, which I think that's kind of funny that the Finnish and Norwegian loop are next to each other. The Stangle dive, which is not that surprising because it's a newer one. Same with the camelback. The airtime hill, specifically the floater, and the dark show section and the top hat were only used 1 time. So that's with all the elements kind of tracked and which ones were used the most, which ones were used the least. Let's talk about the averages. We averaged 9 elements, 8.93 elements per video. An average duration of 131 seconds, pretty solid. Top speed of 74, which there's one coaster, and you already know which one it is, that's really carrying that stat. Otherwise, it'd be a lot lower. The average speed of 33, pretty solid. An average height of 203 feet, which is pretty surprising. When you look at the skyline, there's not that many coasters that are that tall. Again, similar to the top speed, there's one culprit that's really pulling that average up. I think everybody knows which 2 they are. Track length of 5,800, also very impressive. A max vertical G-force of 5.2 is a little bit on the uncomfortable side, but not too insane. It could exist. 22,500 views is actually the average view, so thank you all for that. That's very impressive that this series has gained so much traction, especially with the average video duration of being 34.5 minutes. Not short videos, yet you guys love them, and I appreciate that a lot. As for the totals, we've made 134 elements across all 15 episodes. The total duration is 1900 seconds, which is about basically 33 minutes straight. As for the total track length, 87,246 feet of track was placed, which is 16.52 miles of coaster track, which is a little bit over 10 kilometers. Crazy when you put it that way. Video views in total 337,000, which is crazy. Thank you. That's just insane across the 15 episodes. Total video duration of 8.5 hours. So for those of you that have binge watched this entire series in the playlist, you guys have watched 8.5 hours of content, and that's insane. And I'm so grateful for that. That's a lot of editing. That's a lot of roller coaster and planet coaster footage. That's crazy. It's crazy when you put it in these numbers and you kind of see the scale of 6 months of work, which I didn't realize it was 6 months until I saw somebody comment that it was the last episode was almost in a way nostalgic because it's been 6 months. I didn't really realize it was 6 months until somebody said it. So finally, the last thing we'll do before we get to the main event, which is season 2, let's talk about the records, which we have, I think, 15 or so. I'm not going to spend too much time on them. I'm going to skim through them. We're starting off with fastest, which I don't think is a shock to anybody. Not a shock at all. And what comes with Moroi being the fastest at 157 miles per hour comes being at the highest average speed of 64.4. This was the outlier I was saying was pulling up that average speed because no other coaster is even close to it. Tallest, also Moroi. And Moroi is dominating all these records. Trust me, it's not going to be like this the entire time. It's just these first 3. 626 feet is very tall.
I didn't realize it was taller than Colossus.
It's not even close. Colossus is like only in the 400s.
Oh, I didn't know
only. That's strata territory, and it's 200 feet shorter than the tallest ride. The shortest ride, any prediction on what the shortest coaster is in terms of height?
Probably the toy one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
58 feet. Yeah, it's very tiny. And especially, I think it had a max speed of like 35 miles an hour or something like that.
It's definitely like a family coaster.
Absolutely, it's the closest thing to
it.
Well, it's so funny
cute.
because it has like a non-inverting cobra roll and a wave turn on a family coaster.
Love.
Most elements, not that shocking. This was the most recent video. 15 elements, 1 for every video. The fewest elements, same there.
Abyss,
yeah, rip is the only thing you can say to that. The most scenic. So this is the ride with the most scenery pieces. Which coaster do you think had the most pieces? This is not including foliage, by the way.
I'll stick with Candyland just because the factory was ginormous, that I feel like it was probably a lot of pieces.
I thought it was shocking. I didn't think you just guessed it. I thought it was really shocking. 87,700 pieces were built the Candy Dash coaster.
That factory was huge.
It is huge, but it's mostly building pieces, which are relatively big. I guess all those pieces of candy, I used a brush for that, so. But very interesting that was the most scenic coaster technically. Especially because I was sick and didn't feel like it was. I actually hated this when I uploaded it. I didn't think it was a good build at all. Next is most dangerous.
The log flume.
Which is, well, yes, technically, but this is strictly just based off of the nastiest G-forces.
Oh.
Which there's 2 outliers. One of which edged the other one by 0.01 G-forces.
Oh my gosh.
But these 2 are like a whole G-force level above the 3rd place.
Moroi
and the other one were the top 2.
Oh god.
And I forget which one got the top spot. It was Colossus.
Oh, duh.
Colossus at 7.23 G-forces, and then Moroi was at 7.22. My favorite coaster, layout wise, would probably kill me.
Great thumbnail too.
Family friendly est.
Toyland
coaster, the least amount of G-forces. Is that your guess?
Yeah.
Wrong. Abyss.
Oh, well, duh, 'cause it has 4 elements.
Yeah. The longest in terms of duration.
Oh,
yeah.
Or that.
It wasn't even close. I think 2nd place is maybe 200 seconds. As for track length, it's the 10,000 subscriber coaster, but we actually don't know what the number is. Moroi is 11,000. You can't convince me that Moroi is longer than the 10,000 subscriber coaster. The highest excitement?
Oh.
Tori. That layout. For some reason, the wheel was just like on fire that episode. Lowest excitement. Any guesses there?
Abyss. Oh, what?
Yeah, right? The spinning side, specifically.
What?
Yeah, the other side has like 6, maybe, or like low or high 5s. The spinning side that it's dueling, for some reason, was not even 5.
Does fear affect excitement?
It does, but the fear wasn't that high. Like, it really just for some reason was calculating that it was terrible. The most airtime. is Rhyme.
Mm.
I think it kind of makes sense when you look at the layout.
Yeah.
Very underrated layout. Very underrated episode, in my opinion. The most viewed video, I already kind of mentioned it. It's the corporate coaster. For some reason, you guys love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I say for some reason, but it was just such a fun idea. The longest video, not surprising.
Yeah.
The 10,000 subscriber special. The shortest video, also not surprising. Abyss. Funniest comment. This is where we kind of extended to you guys a little bit. The funniest comment was my personal pick. The funniest comment I had from Crazy Bird: if I ever get a job designing coaster layouts, I'm gonna name all of the coasters after snakes. You cannot stop me. This was on episode 2, and I remember reading this comment. I just thought it was so funny because in that episode we got snake element after snake element after snake element. And so commenting that, I just thought it was so funny. Best suggestion. I don't think it's going to be that surprising. There were some great suggestions. I mean, that's like the backbone of this entire series is you guys recommending things. And my pick was challenge idea, build the entire ride underground, which of course was kind of placed in our back pocket for the last episode. That was all the way back in episode 9 by Bob Boberson, which is a great name, by the way.
Love.
So thank you, Bob, for having the foresight 6 episodes prior to do an underground coaster, which was the perfect way to end the entire series. And then the last comment, the most liked comment, had 212 likes by Johnny. When this park gets full, please make Wheel of Wonders 2, because this is one of the best Planet Coaster 2 series in my opinion. Which, by the way, thank you, Johnny. That's very kind, and all 212 people that liked it. This is the perfect segue into what I'm really looking forward to, which is quickly kind of talking about some of my ideas for the second series. So I hope you enjoyed our little tour of it. I hope you enjoyed the records and the awards that we gave out, as well as the little stats. Let's jump back into the game and let's talk about what the kind of future of the series is, more or less. Ultimately, a lot of the problems with season 1 were that it felt really like it was just a roller coaster that was going element to element, and it was really mostly about the theme wheel, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it created a really awesome collection of roller coasters and a lot of really interesting pockets of moments and themes, so that methodology definitely worked. But I really would love in the future to do almost areas with flat rides, with stalls that have themes, and it's not just element to element, but maybe elements can repeat. Maybe there's way more transitional elements so that these coasters feel a little bit more realistic. I also want to open the park up and actually have a little bit more of a park management style. Nothing crazy, just a little bit. We're not going to go like as far and like have like staff and staff management. A lot of people wanted to see more life in the park, and I couldn't agree more. It just was I kind of just had to roll with what it was, which was, I said at the very first episode that this was going to be more of like a nature walk with coasters kind of placed everywhere. So in the future, we're going to have areas that have stalls, that have flat rides, that potentially even have water slides. Somebody mentioned water slides in the most previous Wheel of Wonders video, and I love that idea. Maybe we have a water park. And I think all in all, I really just want the entire park to feel more like an actual realistic park that's truly top to bottom built by the randomization of the wheel. Because there's a lot of liberties and a lot of freedoms that were taken in this park, and definitely definitely was the right thing to do at the time. But I would love to make the next season be a little bit more realistic. Definitely open ourselves up to flat rides, stalls, water parks, things like that. Opening the actual park itself and having guests roam around, and allowing the wheel to kind of take the steering wheel, to take the reins and truly design a park all by itself. I'm still kind of reading through the most previous Wheel of Wonders videos comments, because you guys are commenting what you would like to see in the new season. That's just some of the ideas. We also have block section wheels potentially coming, which is an idea that I've kind of flirted with since the very beginning. Also, I kind of want to add a new RNG method for speed and height. Just all in all, just trying to create a way more elaborate kind of park building method. So it's going to be a little bit more along the lines of a let's build than this season was. I don't know. I have a lot of thinking to do. I have a lot of outline to do. As for like the timeline on when season 2 will be here, I really don't know. It won't be super far away. I can't imagine. I just kind of have to, sit on the ideas that are here. Keep reading your comments. Feel free to also comment on this video what you want to see, and yeah, it will be back, and it will be very, very exciting. So thank you for watching this video. I look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts in the comments. This was definitely more of like a raw kind of footage, or almost podcasty type of recording than our usual. There probably won't be too much editing. It's a lot of it just me and Kylie talking over kind of what we're seeing. And I hope you kind of had some fun listening to kind of almost a little bit of the behind the scenes of what it was like to actually build this. I guess even the behind the scenes of Kylie having to deal with me building this late nights. So yeah, there will be more videos with Kylie as well. I know people also comment about that, so I'm trying to come up with more ideas. She actually just downloaded Planet Coaster on her PlayStation, so the next time she builds a coaster in the thumbnail, know that she actually built it. She's actually learning how to build a roller coaster. So
attempting.
Yeah, it'll be beautiful. Don't worry.
Surely.
Anyway, thank you all for watching the series. It's been so much fun. Like I've been saying and kind of planting the seeds in this video, do check out the cinematic collection as well as the POV collection. Those two will definitely be coming out if they're not already out. And yeah, I will see you in season 2. I will also see you in all the videos that will come out between now and then. Thank you all for watching and take care.
Bye.